Well, good evening, YouTube, and for literally no reason at all, we're going to start on this camera tonight before switching to this one and revealing the final score. There you go. 6-0. And what's crazy is that I'm not even sure this was the best win of 2021. It could be, and it should be in that conversation. But I'm not sure you can chalk this one up as the definitive best victory. Lots of good things to talk about. Hertl's back, he scores. Meier's back, he scores. 2 power play goals. Erik Karlsson, another goal. Great passing by Evander Kane. A goal by Evander Kane. Great passing by Brent Burns. First NHL goal for Frederick Handemark. And what else? What else am I forgetting? 6 goals. What was the other number on the scoreboard? Oh yeah, 0. First Sharks shutout of 2021. And really the first game that did not require back and forth roller coaster of emotions. This one was in the Sharks' hands, pretty much from the first period. 1-0 after 1, 2-0 after 2, and then a barrage of goals, 4 in total in the third period. I'm hitting my 10-minute timer. It's a Friday night. I've got dinner to eat. I've got a few things to do. I want to stay on time here, and I want to make this short but concise and a strong video to recap tonight's game. Also this, first time the Sharks have won back-to-back games in 2021. Now 10-11-3, and hang with me here not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if they win again tomorrow night in a matchup that should be favorable, you're now looking at an 11-11-3 record, and if my math serves me correctly, after 25 games, that would be 25 points. A perfect 500 record. I'm not here to write home about that. I'm not here to say that that was what the team set out to accomplish in training camp. I'm not saying anybody shoots for 500, but I am saying based on everything they've been through, strength of schedule, starting off with, basically a dozen road games in a row. They were on the road for 40 days almost. All things considered, being at 500 here at 25 games, you're floating. I don't know that you're swimming, but at least you're not sinking and you're floating. So as for tonight's game, I think the Hertl and Meier stories, attacking those separately, but at the same time, Meier only out 2 games with a lower body injury. Great that he was able to get on the scoreboard. But for Tomas Hertl, I think there was, let's be honest, some real concern. He dealt with COVID as much as a lot of young people have. I mean, to the extent of really not feeling well, feeling the symptoms. I was so worried for his wife and his young son, too. 4 months old, to have to all go through that and test positive. I'm glad to see they're on the other side of it right now with no after effects. But as it relates to, okay, you're healthy, you're going to survive. The next question is, well, how can you just jump right back into hockey? After not only not playing, but not physically being right for that period of time, how much can you even play tonight? And, not are you rushing this, but how is it going to work for you? Yeah, as he said, it certainly doesn't hurt, and maybe he was a little bit rusty around the edges, feeling that way, but certainly helps the fact you score a goal. Same thing for Timo Meier. Love the fact that the power play really looked good. It's first time out there, scored on it too, but both units got a crack at it. They both look good. And to get 2 power play goals in the game. The other one, and this is kind of a cross of storylines here, Erik Karlsson, 7 games back since missing 4 with the groin injury. And I made a video on this a while back saying that, there are some things and not to erase the first 15 games of the season maybe for him, whatever it was where he really struggled through them. But, if he could turn a corner, you'd certainly appreciate that. And I think we'd all be satisfied with that. And it appears that he has. Just the blast tonight from the high slot. That's the kind of Erik Karlsson that I know Sharks fans are excited about. And to get another goal from the blue line, to have Burnsy producing, I think you have a 2 assist night. So, in a major way, you got contributions from all around tonight. Like I said, special teams, your blue line, and some 5-on-5 play. I guess the other thing to discuss is just scoring 4 times in the third period. To not only get Gibson pulled from the game, but to really but to really put it on a team for the first time this season and without any retaliation, like Anaheim had nothing to show for it. They almost scored at the end. They did put on a significant press, but I think as we get to the Devan Dubnyk aspect here, third start in a row. Second time in a row that he's allowed 2 or fewer. Now, he did allow 4 to Las Vegas in that game, but it's just, so much back and forth, so much other stuff. That was the first game of this little starting spree. Now, the interesting part is that San Jose is going to play so many Friday, Saturday games. I think it's now 2 down. Well, not done yet, but 1 last weekend, tonight and tomorrow. And then I think they do it 5 more times in a row, 5 or 6 more times in a row. You understand my point here. Friday, Saturday is going to be a very common turn for this team. And I don't know that you can go same goalie both games too many times. I think you can do it here and there, but I don't think you want to do that too many times. As for tomorrow, I don't know. Guy pitches a shutout. If he says he wants to go and he can go, and the team just had 3 days off, what are you supposed to say back to him? So I'm just saying that the back-to-back thing may not be sustainable in the long run if a goalie for any team really in this league gets hot based on the way the schedule's going. But as for Dubnyk, are we witnessing right now him grabbing this job and running with it for a bit? Because quite honestly, we have not really seen any Sharks goalie, either of them, this year established. We've had a couple good games back and forth. And tonight, too, there was a great example, the Evander Kane goal, which, by the way, now 10 goals on the season for Kane. All that he's been through personally, off the ice, it's not my business, but I am certainly aware of the news stories that come out. All that adversity, I say, could weigh on a person. It does weigh on a person. And for him to keep chugging along on the ice as if nothing's happening, it's amazing. Dare I say impressive? I understand those other situations are what they are, but he's seeming to totally detach from any and all of that. There's also some really good comments here. Let me see if I can do this properly, if I can get to the live chat here. Chase saying, Gabriel fighting? Never heard of that. So that's another thing here about tonight's game. When he dropped the gloves with Nick Delorier, this was different for Gabriel because in the past couple games with Clifford and with Reeves, he was the inviter, right? It was come to my party, come dance with me. Tonight, Delorier went right after him. He was invited to this. And so my only question just surrounding Curtis Gabriel, we haven't seen a player of this ilk in a while. I guess Michael Haley was the last one, and maybe John Scott was the one before that. And they don't come to the Sharks often, or they're not part of the Sharks often, but how sustainable is it? Literally, if he's fighting every game, every other game, can he do this? Do you want him to be doing that? I don't know. It's interesting. I love the energy. I think the team feeds off it. And look, a great team like Las Vegas has a Ryan Reeves. What does that say? I know in years past we talk about the diminishing role of an enforcer type. I don't know. Would he even like the title enforcer? I think a long-form interview is calling with Curtis Gabriel in the near future for pregame live. What a game. I agree. It's weird that I'm saying here that this may not have been the best game, but I agree with the comment here by Ryan. I feel like the 6-2 Avs win was the best. And maybe it was in a sense of being down 0-2 against the Avs and, getting the final 6 as opposed to the only 6. But I think the shutout has to go in it as well, too, in the conversation. Sports fan JW just stopping by to say, great win. You were at work for most of it, but caught all the goals in the third. 3 goals in 3 minutes and 18 seconds. They definitely turned it on in this one. And so, again, potential turning points, storylines. Where does it go next from here? 2 games against Anaheim, 1 down, 1 tomorrow. And then you go right back to Las Vegas for a pair of road games. Zach saying I should be jumping up and down. Did you not watch the post-game show? Or maybe if you're in Canada, you can't. No, we had a lot of fun. And, I honestly think that defense centers around a lot of winning for San Jose. We know what 2 or fewer is all about. We know a shutout is even well better than 2 or fewer. But I just think in the case of tonight, defense leading to offense for this team. And I would also say that Anaheim does really look like a team that's struggling. But that's the thing, right? Let's say you only win tonight 1-0. You feel okay about it. You should win this game. Like if you're the Sharks and you really want to separate yourself from Anaheim, then you have to go out and win games and win them in regulation and win them 6-0 like this. Mark, I fully agree. It's what I was saying before. Ever since missing those 4 in the 7 since then, Karlsson has looked amazing. And I can't explain it how a groin gets healed or recovered or whatever happened. Wonder if this is the point where the Ducks start selling, as in Rickard Rakell maybe. But I don't know about this trade deadline. I've been saying for a while that when you take away maybe a quarter of the teams that are in that North Division and would have to quarantine any new players, does it make it worth it to trade up even until the deadline? Maybe the artificial deadline will be April 1st, knowing that there's another 12. Oh, sorry. Scared the heck out of me. Knowing that there's another 12 days after that until the actual deadline. So, Hertl and Meier. Great games. Yeah, Mungo, that's a great point. Well, is 2 a streak or is 3, 2 in a row is something, but is 3 a streak? But there you go. Chance to do that tomorrow night. Farmer. Now, Costa I hope I'm saying that right. Are you referring to a farmer joke I made on television tonight where I said that if Brent Burns were a farmer, he was harvesting apples in this game? Yeah, pair of assists. So there you go. Sharks win 6-0. Like I said, you tell me in the comments. I am about to sign it off here, and I apologize for only going a little bit longer than 10 tonight, but was it the best win? Was it the best game of the season? I don't know. Or maybe if it was like a 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. If it was a bunch of goals spread out more. Or maybe you like the third period scoring 4 times. Or maybe you just like the Devan Dubnyk shutout. I like the Devan Dubnyk shutout. I like this team to get back to some defensive ways. I don't have a horse in the race, but I really would like to see one goaltender kind of establish and be the guy and have less questions. More answers, less questions. So we're going to do this all over again tomorrow night. We'll see if San Jose can get back to that 500 record. Until then, be safe, everybody, and we'll see you on TV tomorrow, 6:30 for Sharks Pregame Live.